Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. I'm very excited to see everyone, and it's such a wonderful representation of the state of California. I am the general manager for the State Water Contractors, which is an association of public water agencies that deliver water from the State Water Project to 2 out of every 3 Californians, and I'll also add 1 in 12 Americans, because that's a pretty amazing stat. The value and importance of the State Water Project cannot be understated. If the State Water Project service area were its own economy, it'd be the 8th largest economy in the world. Recognizing the importance of this infrastructure, we are joined today by several state legislators who understand the vast benefits of the State Water Project and the critical need for Delta Conveyance Project. Thank you, Senators Richardson for being here, Assemblymember McKenna, Assemblymember I think Calderon may be coming, and also California Natural Resources Secretary Wade Crowfoot. Thank you very much for joining us here today. You are not alone in the leaders throughout the state who are supportive of our work here today. We are also joined today by a wide range of industries, business, labor, social justice, water and housing representatives who understand the critical need to secure California's primary water supply and modernize the State Water Project, finally. Climate change is already negatively impacting the State Water Project, and investing in infrastructure upgrades will help ensure a reliable water supply for 2/3 of Californians and 750,000 acres of very fertile farmland. Today, we call on the legislature to pass the DCP budget trailer bill, which will reduce barriers to innovation and create efficiencies that will save time and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, in fact. Threats to the State Water Project are threats to California. We must protect the State Water Project from the impacts of climate change and secure a reliable water supply for all. I'll now turn it over to California Natural Resources Secretary Wade Crowfoot. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. It was less than 3 years ago when 5 million Californians were under water rationing. At the end of 2022, the tail end of the driest 3-year period in California's history, agencies like mine were planning to navigate through the following spring, that number reaching 20 million Californians, half of Californians under water rationing. We were saved by those 9 atmospheric rivers that came in January of 2023, but we recognize that as a harbinger of things to come. We follow science in California, and science tells us that our water challenges are mounting. Water reliability is becoming more challenging. We will have wet periods, we will have big storms, we will have wet winters. Our wet periods will be getting wetter, and our dry periods will be getting drier. And we need to take action for California's future to ensure that we have the water resilience for our economy to grow and our communities to flourish. There's a lot that we have to do, conservation and efficiency, diversifying water supplies, but we must maintain the backbone of California's water systems. And that backbone is the State Water Project. More than 2 of 3 Californians get their water from a large portion of the Sierra Nevada that runs through the San Joaquin and the Sacramento River systems and through the Delta. And that Delta conveyance is the major point of vulnerability. If we don't take action to rehabilitate, to modernize this part of the backbone of California's water, we are in trouble and we are vulnerable. Not only the water supply for those 27 million Californians, but the affordability of water in California, recognizing that for many water agencies, the most affordable portion of water that they consume and that they share with their consumers is State Water Project water. We know that the current status quo is costing us hundreds of thousands, actually millions of acre feet of water supply every year. Our Department of Water Resources has been measuring that over the last few years. And thankfully, we've had pretty good water years over the last few years, so that loss of supply hasn't been critical. But I can tell you and basically guarantee that in the next drought, if we are not in a position to be moving forward modernizing this infrastructure, we will be in a worse way than we were in 2022. So from our perspective, this isn't a nice to have, this is a have to have for Californians. Abundant, affordable water moving forward. And it's why I'm so thankful that legislative leaders are driving this legislative proposal forward. Obviously thankful for Governor Newsom's leadership. And we stand ready to get this work done. Absolutely essential for California's future. Next, I want to, as I said, we've got remarkable legislative leaders that are driving this proposal forward, including Senator Laura Richardson. So I want to invite Senator Richardson up.
Well, thank you very much. Isn't it wonderful to have a secretary who has an expertise in the subject matter? You guys are awake. You got that. I want to start off by thanking Governor Newsom for his leadership on this very important issue, not making it partisan, not making it North Cal versus Southern Cal, but making it really about the people of California. I want to thank the Secretary, all of the partners we have here, including Metropolitan Water District, which is in the area that I represent, and of course our building trades family. The men and women who are working in California are the ones who are going to help us to have a successful project under budget and on time, right? Right. All right. So as a senator in a district in Southern California where we were called upon, and I do recall the days of where we had the tremendous amount of water, but I also remember the days of where we had a lot of conservation. And I will tell you that in Metropolitan Water District, they still push us to do the conservation, even though we're not having as difficult time, so we can train ourselves to do the right thing all the time. I believe in this Delta Conveyance project. As a matter of fact, this morning I called one of my colleagues who's actually not in support of it. And I told him that I was going to be here today and that we were going to be working to make sure that this project gets done. And I told him if he hasn't watched the movie Chinatown, he needs to watch it. Because, and for those of you who are too young to have seen the movie, I worked for, when I was in Congress, Chairman Oberstar, a gentleman from Minnesota, told me any member who sits on the Water Committee has to see the movie Chinatown. And it talks about the fight in California, Northern California, Southern California about water. We're no longer talking about Chinatown. We're talking about one California, that Southern California must have the necessary water and resources so we can not only support the Californians in Southern California, but we can have the industries that are successful that can help Northern California. And I see representatives here from the business community who understand that we all have to work together. So when I look at this budget trailer bill, I don't know if it was congratulations or if it was, oh, we got you. But when the pro tem put me on both appropriations and budget, I was like, wow. And now that I'm going to the Senate appropriations as we speak, I want you to know personally that I'm meeting with the chair, Mr. Weiner. We're talking to make sure that as all of the budget dust trickles down over this period of time, that the language is there and we can get this project done. Finally, I want to say that after decades of planning, replanning, talking, meeting, going through the whole thing, it's time to stop talking and let's build. So with that, I'm in full support and count on me to make it happen. Thank you. So next, I have the pleasure to introduce my colleague, Assemblywoman McKenna. You ought to know that in Southern California, you're lucky because some people fear us because they know that we're smart, we come prepared, and we don't back down. Please welcome the Assemblywoman, Tina McKenna.
Good morning. It's amazing to have a senator like Senator Laura Richardson. My name is Assemblymember Tina McKenna, and I proudly represent the West Side and South Bay cities and communities in L.A. County. I also serve as the chair of the L.A. County Legislative Delegation, and I'm here to express my full support for Governor Newsom's Delta Conveyance project. Los Angeles County did not become larger than 41 states by accident. Los Angeles County did not protect California's economic resilience in the face of threats by this federal government just because. Los Angeles County is the cultural and economic capital of California because of our hardworking, dedicated residents and because we have responsibly managed our water use as we've grown to nearly 10 million people. Los Angeles County is an important partner in making the Golden State shine, and we need a statewide water policy that protects our state's environment and acknowledges the real needs of Los Angeles families and businesses. Not only are parts of Los Angeles County 100% reliant on state water project supplies, the system provides approximately 75% of California's disadvantaged communities with some or all of their water supplies. The State Water Project serves nearly 7 million people, 1,500 disadvantaged communities, many in my district, with affordable and high-quality water supplies. The Delta Conveyance Project is a common-sense solution to a decades-old problem. The water delivery infrastructure our state relies on must be upgraded to avoid future disruptions. No alternative project offers the quantity of reliable drinking water at the low cost of state water project supplies. Investments in reliable water infrastructure, especially in the face of climate change, are critically to ensure that water remains safe, reliable, and accessible for all Californians. Thank you, and I would now like to introduce Miguel Luna.
Good morning, everyone. The Delta Conveyance Project is indeed the single most effective action we can take to secure California's sustainable water future. And action is what we need to take. Believe me, I know this. I was born in South America in a city where we had water 3 days out of the week. And still today, we are paying, the people that are still living there are paying for those choices. And they're paying with intermittent water, with water that's not of the highest quality, and they're paying with their pocket because it's not the cheapest water to deliver. This is why this project is so important to me. My experience as a child have shaped and led me to positions in places with the right people shoulder to shoulder to make sure we make the right decisions today for tomorrow's generations. And this project at its core is about protecting reliability and resilience of the state's water project, which millions of Californians depend on for their homes, their farms, and their businesses. So I believe this project is also important to them. Important to this project is also that it's funded entirely by public water agencies that understand the investment that must be made in 21st century infrastructure. It's not funded by the general fund. However, it does include a $200 million community benefits package that will benefit the Delta communities. And looking even further, this project will also invest maybe about $400 million and take actions in projects during and post-construction construction for roadway improvements, for upgrades to power and communication systems, and public safety and community emergency response facilities. I'm really proud to be one of 7 directors at the Delta Conveyance and Design and Construction Authority and of the staff. As a child, I never thought I'd be in a position to possibly change the course of a region or the state toward a resilient, reliable, affordable drinking water. What the governor is proposing is not about cutting corners. It's about breaking through unnecessary delays so we can deliver the infrastructure Californians need. Every year we delay this, it costs more money, and it leaves communities more vulnerable to supply disruption. Moving forward with the Delta Conveyance Project is about building smarter, about building faster, and ensuring that water systems remain reliable, affordable, and sustainable for the future. It's simply smart government. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Miguel. I'm Jim Wonderman. I'm the president and CEO of the Bay Area Council. We represent 370 organizations, mostly businesses, but also public sector agencies in the nine-county Bay Area. And the organization has been working on water policy issues for a long time, even before the time I took over as a CEO, which some would define as ancient history. I'm also the chair of the New California Coalition, which is a agglomeration of some of the many of the most important groups and smaller groups from throughout California, all working together. And both the Bay Area Council and New California Coalition prioritize this project and water as key issues affecting the future life of the state. And it's no wonder why that would be the case. I'm always, as I drive south at times from the Bay Area to down south, I'm always amazed by the California aqueduct. And I think about California 60, 70 years ago and the enormity of that project and the undertaking of the time. And think about what it took to do that. And that was big. And California did big things. Created a big university. It created the potential through its water system for the state to grow, for its agriculture system to flourish, for people to have access to water and not have the experience Miguel had growing up in South America. And I believe it's so important that today we were able to make big steps today, even if sometimes it's expensive or it's uncomfortable or somebody's not in favor of it. We have to go forward, and I think this budget trailer process is the right way to get things done. It's not, going around, the corners. It's doing the right things quickly so we can solve a problem that's been facing us. As Secretary Crowfoot explained, we're in trouble if we have a major earthquake. God help us. In California, we'll experience a disaster, and it's almost hard for the mind to conceive the enormity of it. Historically, there was disputes between Northern California and Southern California over water policy. Even our organization way back was involved in sort of that scuffle. That's not the case anymore. First of all, out of self-interest, 40% of the water in Silicon Valley actually comes through this system. And so, we need that water to ensure the viability of our technology infrastructure, our innovation ecosystem in Silicon Valley and the people who live there. There's no question about that. But beyond that, we have a common responsibility to the whole state, whether it's the people who live in the South or our farmers or everybody, and especially to our businesses. We have to, at this moment in California, make sure that we do everything we can to be competitive in the future. Part of the business climate challenge that both Bay Area Council and NCC work on, and Tracy might touch on this after I introduce her, is also housing. And I think the Secretary touched on the nexus between abundant housing and abundant water. We're not going to be able to build the housing that we need if there's questionable availability of water supply. So, this is a really critical project. Had we had this in place, we could have had a huge amount of water saved. The nature of this project is in the wet years, you get to save the water for the dry years. And, there's no such thing as an average water year in California. The graph looks like this. So just want to thank Governor Newsom. I really appreciate the remarks of the senator and an assembly member and their leadership on this. Let's get this done. And let's work hard in these next days and weeks to make it happen. It's my pleasure to introduce a really good friend, tremendous leader, Tracy Hernandez. She's the founder of LA BizFed and leader and CEO of LA BizFed, and she's also the CEO of the New California Coalition. Go get them. Thank you, everybody.
As you can see today, the diverse group of interests and voices and people that care about California coming together on this one item is unique and special and something to take note of. As Jim mentioned, the New California Coalition, of which he's chairing and I'm the CEO, is an interesting civic movement around the whole state. So we have like 900 partners in every part of the state, about 1 million common sense voters that are raising their voice and activating. And through research and polling focus groups, we're really grassroots on the ground in all the regions of the state. We have found that there's 4 common areas that people that are sensible. It's nonpartisan. It's everyone involved. If you care and you're here and you vote on occasion, what matters most to you? What are you demanding the state, our senators, our assembly members, the governor, and our secretaries to get fixed? And the 4 areas are rapid housing production, middle jobs, homelessness solutions with wraparound services, and then the almighty important clean, reliable, affordable water. Clean, reliable, affordable water. And so when you come down to Southern California, you heard from my senators and assembly people who are real leaders on this. In LA, I can tell you that for a long time, we have 400,000 companies organized in LA BizFed, about 250 different groups. That's a diverse group of folks too. And LA is really interesting and pretty much doesn't get along on anything at any given time, let alone LA and the Bay Area get focused on it. But this is something we have agreed upon, is that when it's affordable, reliable, and it's critical to everyone that lives in California, that owns or operates a business, that employs people, that we have to shore up our state water project. And so we applaud the governor coming out on this budget trailer bill, as everyone's saying. You know, everyone has an opinion about how you get things done. But when things are at a stalemate, and it has been quite a while, you have to take bold action. And if you get this many of people agreeing, it's worth taking note. And I want to tell you that the Delta Conveyance Project, it's like a lot of us are together on roads, on transit, on housing, and so on. But sometimes we forget what it means on water infrastructure. We talked about our colleagues that are providing all the jobs and building it out. But the projects our infrastructure projects in California, repeatedly face the same obstacles from the same groups, the same voices that result in endless delays, duplicative reviews, and frivolous lawsuits. We're not opposed to a good process and great reviews and lawsuits that, move things forward at an important level. But what I said was what we're not for is frivolous lawsuits, constant duplicative reviews, and endless delays. So what the governor's doing with this trailer bill is not everything. We're not boiling the ocean. It's limited, so don't be afraid. It comes in, it limits the amount of and scope of lawsuits the project opponents can file to slow down progress. The governor's proposal will go a long way toward reducing the barriers to building the crucial infrastructure projects. That's something we can all get behind. We have to get behind. We have days and we have a couple weeks. So please join us. It's time to vote. Everyone should vote yes on the Delta Conveyance Plan trailer bill so that we all can get our much needed water infrastructure repairs and reliable water supplies to each of us. And now I get to introduce my friend is Martin Ludlow from Groundswell, and he's going to bring even another distinctive voice to today. Martin?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Tracy. I'm here representing Groundswell for Water and Housing Justice. We're a statewide social justice organization. We represent nearly 1,400 civil rights leaders in the state. I just want to take one moment to recognize Rick Callender, who's the president of the statewide NAACP, which is the largest NAACP chapter in the nation. It's pretty straightforward for us, and really want to salute the governor. Still in California, there's over 1 million people, low-income people, largely people of color, but not exclusively, poor people, that still do not have access to clean, affordable water. And when you think about where we are as a country, you think about where we are as a nation, it's just unconscionable that we would still be in this state. Very simple sort of analogy, if you kind of step back and think about the number of NFL stadiums and sporting arenas that we have built in this state in just the last decade. We haven't successfully built one major water infrastructure project in a century. And that just doesn't pass the giggle test. To Tracy's point, enough is enough. It's time to move forward. We're really here to stand shoulder to shoulder with the governor and with the legislature to get this project approved and launched. And some of you may remember, it was over a year ago, we brought an army of about 1,000 people with groundswell shirts on. I want the governor to know those troops are ready and they're ready to walk the halls. So let's get it done. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jennifer. Jeremy Smith here on behalf of the State Building and Construction Trades Council of California. We represent 450,000 unionized construction workers up and down the state. We stand here today in support, like everybody else, of the Delta Conveyance Streamlining Trailer Bill. Make no mistake, the Delta Conveyance project is not just a safety upgrade, it's an equity investment. Without modernization, its reliability will erode under the strain of mega droughts, rising seas, and seismic risks. The trailer bill ensures that all Californians, regardless of zip code or income level, have continued access to reliable and affordable water. From the construction trades perspective, it's a little known fact that every new construction project, from housing to public works, needs to have an identified water source. Scarce water affects every part of our economy. In working towards climate resilience and economic strength, this project checks every box. It modernizes essential infrastructure, reduces costs for ratepayers, and creates thousands of union jobs. Reinforces our state's ability to protect both natural resources and working class prosperity. We urge the adoption of the Delta Conveyance Project Streamlining Trailer Bill as a critical step to securing California's water future, one that is climate resilient, economically sound, and built by California's construction trades workforce. We look forward to working with all of you, including my friends from BizFed and Bay Area Council. Three of us aren't always at the same podium, but we do agree on this, and we agree with the governor and his leadership, and we thank him for that. I'll now hand it back to Jennifer Pierre. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. We really appreciate it. What a diverse group of people representing all factions of California. And with that, I'd like to invite everyone up to the stage for a quick photo, and then let's go get them. Thank you.